Hey guys, Rob here again. Sorry for flooding your subscriptions with videos today. Today I got a Kubey knife. This is the tactical Tanto tip. And I've had this for about 2 weeks now, and it's a fascinating knife. Let's just go through it. If you guys have been following my channel or subscribers that have been watching these Kubey knife reviews, they're actually really fucking solid knives. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not being paid to review these or anything. Like, I'm just giving you an honest review. This one is heavy fucking duty. It is real heavy. Comes in the standard packaging. It's got some embellishments on it. And like I said, I've had it for about 2 weeks. I've had time to play around with a little. It's held up really well. I haven't had any problems with it. The action on it is super smooth and super fast. It almost feels like there's ball bearings or something in here, because I've never actually had a spring-loaded folder that came out this fast and this smooth and just folds weight. I mean, it just feels like it's just wheeling right away when you close it up. It's heavy. This is a heavy duty knife. Everything on it is metal. I can't find any plastic on it anywhere. Some of the reviews were complaining that they thought the clip was cheap or it was plastic. It's not. Maybe like an older version of this knife did have a plastic clip. This is not plastic. It's at least aluminum. It's got advertised as a seatbelt cutter. I originally intended to go to the junkyard and try it on a seatbelt, and maybe even try I wanted to break some glass and stab it through a car door, but I tore a muscle in my arm. Maybe I'll put a picture of that in, I don't know. But so I did want to kind of run it through the heavier duty stuff. The seatbelt cutter is, try and get the lights going fast. Let me see if I can let you see this. That's a chisel grind. It's angled on one side and flat on the other. I assume this is unscrewable. I don't know why you'd want to, but you could take this off if you want. That's the glass breaker. The one thing that I need to stress about this knife is it is heavy duty. I mean heavy. It's a heavy knife. That's why I got the scale out. Let's see. How do I switch it to... What do I do there? Grams. You're looking at... sorry, let me tear that. 246 grams. Not a light knife. Compare that to Leatherman Wave. Just a little bit heavier than a Leatherman Wave. And it might weigh as much if I had this in the leather sheath or something. So it's not a light knife. It weighs more than a Leatherman. It's a big knife. It fills my whole hand. I've got big hands. I mean, I really have big hands. I don't know. 8 inches from palm to fingertip. And this fills up my entire hand. There's no, you know, some of these knives I have to put one finger off. This fills up my entire hand. It's still got extra room down here. It's got some jimping there. And there's a little bit of jimping here on the quick release. The serrations go up about 1/3. They say it's about half serrated on the listing. It goes up about 1/3. It's serrated on one side, and then the micro bevel seems to be just a very small Scandi micro bevel. It's not. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a. You can almost see a convex line there in the light. It's one of the more serious Tanto points that I've seen. It's very, very angular here, and because of its weight, that angularness kind of like just makes it penetrate like it's just like falling through nothing. You know, I got some leather pieces out here. We'll put them through that in a minute, but yeah, it really penetrates deep and quick, and it's effortless. So I'm not a huge fan of Tanto points in general, but this one actually seems useful. I've actually I shot a clip for this earlier where I fixed a hose, and I'll put that here in a minute, but it was useful in getting down inside of the hose to cut out a little bump, the seam or something. And let me just get to, okay, the length of the knife closed is, big knife, I said 5 1/4 closed, or about 130 centimeters ish. Opened, you're talking 9 inches. So it's not a small knife, and it's not a lightweight knife. This is not your ultralight backpacking knife. This is something that you're going to use if you're like an EMS guy or a cop or a fire rescue guy, and you need a heavy duty knife that's going to cut through some shit. You're really going to want a heavy duty knife, and I think this thing does. Let's see, did I mention everything here? I can demonstrate the clip, but I do that later. Clip's fine, trust me. This action here, I cannot emphasize enough how smooth the action is. So I've got some fairly heavy gauge speaker wire, and since I don't have a seatbelt to cut through right now, let's try the speaker wire. Let's see. And like I said, I really wanted to put this through its paces. I injured my arm in a point break beach football accident. Tore a muscle, took a couple weeks to heal, and I've been working, haven't had any time to, you know, get to the junkyard. So let's just try it with, I'm gonna have to stand up for this because the tripod will get in my way here. Am I in frame here? It's pretty effortless. I've cut through some wire before. That's double strands. So the chisel grind on the wire cutter / seatbelt cutter seems to be fairly effective. Like I don't have a seatbelt. I do have some similar cord, but it's kind of stretchy, so I'm not going to even bother with it as a seatbelt. One thing I haven't tried with it is a ferro rod test. I'm not optimistic that it's going to work, but let's try it. I got a big ferro rod. It might, you know. I was surprised that the other Kubey knives did a nice sharp grind on the back here. And at the end of this, we'll do the paper cut. See, this kind of feels a little bit more polished on the edge. I'm not sure if it will. Let me, ow, got mosquito bites here. Yeah, it does. Might be my ferro rod that's not up to snuff. Let me try it on this kind of this section here is a little bit of a faux edge. So, if you really wanted to start a fire with this thing, it's making some sparks, but you might want to file it a little or sharpen it a little. But like I said, this is not a backpacking knife. This is like a utility knife. You could use this in construction. I could imagine, like, guys in construction, you could probably really saw through some fiberglass or some drywall or some insulation pretty easily with this thing. And like I said, it's a very exaggerated Tanto. A lot of Tantos will come up to like, I don't know, like a centimeter higher and then bend in. You know, more like that Tanto angle. You know, it's hard to hard to explain, but this is a very, very, very angular, and combined with the weight on this, yeah. So let me reposition the camera, and I will see what I can do with this leather. I've got a bunch of saddle leather here, and it's pretty heavy gauge. This one's not so big, but I'd call that at least 6 ounces. That's at least 6. And this is all stiff stuff. It's not been, this has not been like treated or anything. This is raw saddle leather. They took it right off the saddle and scrapped it. So it's just scrap. And I've got several layers of this. I'll bring this over to the tree stump, and we'll just see how effortless. I mean, I feel like I could just fall on it and cut right through it. It's so heavy. So let's try it. Hold on. Okay, just a big pile of saddle leather here. I think that makes 8 sheets of, I don't know, something like 6 to 8 ounce saddle leather, untreated. And I'm just gonna puncture it a couple times. That's 5 right there. No, is that 5? 5. This is not putting any pressure on. That was, again, 5. I'm not stabbing this hard. I know you probably can't tell from the video, but I'm kind of limp-wristedly stabbing this. Another 5. So, I kind of threw that one at it. That went through 5 again. So, I mean, it's just the weight of it combined with this crazy, crazy Tanto angle. It just makes it unbelievable as a pincer, as a piercing knife. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, I wanted to do a GoPro for this one, but the charger cord is gone. I can't get another one for another day. So I got to replace the I put one of these stupid quick connects on here and it just won't come off. I've used quick connects before and they've never been this much trouble. I pounded on it. I've done everything it will do. I've determined that I'm gonna have to just get a new hose or put a new mail-in connector on. So I usually use this tool to cut through, but apparently this hose is just a little too thick. This is a Costco hose, making a jagged line, and you really need a nice flat edge for this. So I don't know how the knife's gonna do. I don't know if my phone's really set up to record this. Let me see if I can get it in frame. Let's just see. I mean, I know it'll clean this up easy enough. Wow, real easy. Is this in frame? Yeah, there we go. Let's see if this will make a nice edge. That's really not bad. It's better than the other tool did. It's a little jagged. Let me take one more whack at it. I think the serration's got in it. Let me try it without the serrations, maybe. One. Oh, that's cleaner. That's clean enough to work with here. So, big shears would have done it, but yeah, this thing will cut through a hose like it's not even a hose. That was 2 strokes, super fast. Oh, that was one stroke. Just about as clean. So, that's that for that one. Hold on. Okay, my phone's about to run out of space. I'm having to delete videos, but last thing I want to try is I've got a piece of roofing fiberglass, tarred fiberglass. It's for roofs. And I just kind of want to see what the serrations will do on it. I have no idea. The tar is probably going to eat it up. Yeah, maybe you can see better if I come over here. Can I zoom this or something? Maybe I can zoom it. There we go. Yeah. Let's just see what it does to this. This is something you generally use a saw to cut through, or a very, very big knife, and that's what this is. That's a cleaner edge than the saw did. The saw left some jags. This made a really clean cut. And yeah, again, I wouldn't, unless you're really trying to beat this up, this is a piece of fiberglass with tar on it. I would not do this to your knife. But what I'm gonna do is just strop it up. You can see the tar coming off. Gonna clean it up, strop it up, and I don't think it'll do the paper cut with the tar on it, but let's try. I don't think it's gonna work. Tar is gonna mess this up. And the problem with these paper cuts on Tantos is it always stops about that point. I'll see what it does. I'm still getting cuts. A little alcohol will clean off the tar. I should have done the paper first. My apologies. Yeah, it's still nice, nice clean edge here. That's nothing to scoff about, sorry. And you know it's just the tar sticking. I mean, it's filthy now. Anyway, that's the new Kubey Tactical Tanto. A big, heavy knife. Weighs a lot. And it's heavy duty, man. And I don't mean just heavy, it's heavy duty. It feels like one solid piece of metal. It doesn't even feel like there's a lot of moving parts or anything. It's no blade play. Yeah, put it down and pretty straightforward. Yeah, a little blade play, but you can't expect anything more or less than that on a 9-inch overall blade. Yeah, it's a nice knife. Check it out. That's it for this one. Peace, guys.